Now, as I'm doing this video, Nio stock is up 5%, Lioro is up 1.7%, Xpeng is down 2.2%, Rivian is down it's up, 2.59%, Lucid up 2.8%, Zika down 4.8%, Tesla down 6%. Now, the story of Tesla, some people might still be wondering why Tesla today is being hit pretty bad. Well, Tesla failed to meet the guidance which they had targeted during their Q3 earnings. During Q3 earnings, Tesla came and said for Q4 they are expecting to deliver vehicles of around 505,000, and the company managed to deliver only 495,000 vehicles. This is what was unveiled today, and this is what is leading into the shares of Tesla dropping 6%. What is happening in China? If you have a look into EV stocks like Nio, Lioro, Xpeng, Xiaomi, and all or most of the other Chinese EV stocks, on the first, they reported their December deliveries and gave their overall Q4 deliveries, and most of them, they did as what they expected, meaning that they delivered as per the guidance they gave during their Q3 earnings. There are some, I think, like Xpeng, that deliver even more than what they said they would deliver in Q4, which is something that is great, something that is amazing. It is for this reason that most of the stocks or EV stocks in China are trading up today. But for Tesla, it's a different story. They said they would deliver over 500,000. They delivered below 400,000. And the main problem or the main issue here, I think it is what we are seeing currently happening in China. Most of the Chinese consumers are beginning to trust their own local brands instead of going for international brands like Tesla, Mercedes, BMW. They are trusting their very own and going for their very own, which is why we're seeing companies like Nio continuing doing very well. I mean, previous video I was talking about Onvo L60 taking the second spot when it comes to the insurance registrations we saw for last week, right? Where Onvo had 14,200 vehicles registered, whilst Tesla Model Y had over 15,000. I did say that what we are going to see, or what we have begun seeing already, is that some of the customers that would usually go buy your Tesla Model Y, they are going to buy the Onvo L60 because technology, we know it's better. Beauty, we know it's better. And therefore, they are going for Onvo instead of coming to buy the popular or the most popular Tesla Model Y. And this is just the beginning, man. I did tell you that one of the things that we are seeing, I mean, you will remember that BMW, Mercedes, somewhere in Q3, they came and readjusted their guidance or their revenue guidance for the full year, dropping it based on the serious competition that they are seeing. I mean, this very same Onvo L60 that we're talking about, apparently some of the customers or some of the people that are going to buy it are the customers that were thinking about buying Mercedes, BMW, but they find themselves interested in buying the Onvo L60. It has happened. This is happening on Onvo. This is happening in some of the Nio models. There are quite a number of stories that we have read that people wanted to go for Mercedes, people wanted to go for BMW, they end up buying Nio cars, which is something that is good. Now, the report, one of the reports that we got to read today, ladies and gents, this report or this table shows the current most recommended car brands to buy in China. This is what Chinese consumers are recommending or recommend for people to go and buy. And in the top spot, we've got Aito. Second spot, we've got Nio. Onvo, the reason why it's not here, I think it's still a new brand. So it would not make sense, or it won't make much difference because they just started deliveries right now in September. But have a look at Nio. Second spot. Third spot, you've got Lioro. Fourth spot, you've got Tesla. Now, hold on. Nio, Lioro, Aito are above Tesla. Chinese consumers would rather recommend Aito, Nio, and Lioro over Tesla. This is what is happening in China. At first, people thought the car companies that would have that will be impacted by the fierce competition of EV cars in China would be like a Mercedes, BMW, because those are also most expensive cars you would buy, right? But now it's going to Tesla. It's also going to Tesla. Onvo L60, direct competitor for the best-selling Tesla model, which is the Tesla Model Y. It's starting to show great things. Wait times, it have been reduced. The anxiety that used to come with the waiting period of this car is being taken away very slowly, because as of yesterday, those that place their orders onto the Onvo L60, they are to expect their deliveries 4 to 6 weeks. In a space of a month, if you are to place your orders, or if you are to place an order for getting your Onvo L60, you'll get your delivery just after a month, which is something that we were not seeing. And this shows you where Nio is. This shows you the kind of potential that Onvo L60 has. So us seeing Tesla dropping by 6%, it is just showing or reflecting what is actually happening in China. I showed you just now the table showing some of the most recommended new energy vehicle brands in China, and our Nio is number 2. And I'll tell you, next year around this time, Onvo will be part of this list, because it is a car also, or an EV brand that is set for greatness. Nio being on the top 2 of this list is not even surprising, because we know the kind of cars that Nio is building, we know the kind of technology that Nio is putting onto this car, and we know the kind of after sale services they give to those that buy their car. It's not just about cars, it's not just about the technology, but it's also the kind of services that you give to those that buy your cars. And this, as a result, will result into car brands like Nio continuing to do very well, which is something that is great, something that is exciting. So what is happening here, part of the reason why Tesla did not get or meet their deliveries, I will tell you now, is because of the fierce competition that they are seeing in China. Chinese consumers are beginning to trust their own brands. Chinese consumers are beginning to go for Nio, are beginning to go for the Onvo L60, are beginning to go for Li Auto, Xpeng, Xiaomi, Avatar, Aito, and the others, which is why China is beginning to cannibalize all the deliveries, the sales that this international brand will usually get. I mean, if there's one thing that you and me can agree, one thing that is making these Chinese car brands to do well, it's because of the technology. They are innovating, guys. I mean, we need to give that to them. The kind of technology that you find into Chinese EV cars, it's something that we have never seen. The kind of technology grow this fast. I mean, it has gotten to a point where car brands are now releasing new cars, or upgrading, introducing facelifts of their existing models in a space of 12 months. That's how fierce the competition in China is. We used to know that facelifts of car brands or upgrades or latest model will take at least 2-3 years before they come. But in China right now, new cars are being introduced in as early as 12 months. So meaning that there is a car that can come 2025 today, and the facelift of that model will begin next year 2026 in January. This is what we are seeing. That's how fierce the competition is in China, and this unfortunately is going to end up driving or making these international brands really having to fight for their money. What will only save them is if they form strategic partnerships with some of these companies that are winning, some of the companies like Nio. If they don't do that, unfortunately, yeah, it's going to be bad for them, because China is one of the strongest market. In fact, on the new energy vehicle market, it constitutes about 60% of global sales when it comes to new energy vehicle cars. Meaning that if you are selling new energy vehicle cars, you must be present in China, because that's where the market is, right? And if you can compete in China or make it big in China, then outside of China you should have it easy, which is why you would find the European Commission wanting to increase tariffs to make sure that they block or they slow down the progress of these Chinese EV makers going to cannibalize some of their local car producers like BMW, Mercedes, which is something that, yes, for now you can try to stop them from that, but let me tell you something, these car companies are innovating. These car companies are doing so well, and I'm telling you, they are starting to find ways to penetrate those markets, even with those tariffs that these countries are imposing or want to impose, to try to slow down Chinese EV makers from penetrating their countries, and they will win. It is a short-term solution, but in the long term, I tell you, it will not work for them, which is something that we need to always have at the back of our minds, to say that though Nio might not be selling in the US, but it will sell in the US. They won't stop it forever, man. And that's a fact, that's the truth. They will find ways to penetrate the US and make money and be able to constitute or contribute to what the total revenues that Nio generates as the whole company. So yeah, man, thought I'd give you this quick update. This is part of the reason why we're seeing Tesla down 6% and companies like Nio up 5%. I think, yeah, unless something comes out, unless maybe Tesla does something, then these EV makers like Nio are going to continue stealing the market share from Tesla, especially with their sub-brand ONVO. It is really looking promising, guys. I think those that are persevering will most definitely be rewarded with time. So yeah, man, before I make this video to be too long, just thought I'd give you this quick update. Tell me what you think about this. Blue sky is coming, long term will win. That's all from me, and God bless you all.